Okay, getting your FCC ham radio license in the US in 30 minutes or just over 30 minutes. It's possible. I've done it. Now, I say 30 minutes. There's a bit more to it than that. There's a bit of admin in the background. We'll come to that in a minute. So we all have our own reasons for wanting to get a ham radio license. Some people go out overlanding. Their other friends that they're with might have a ham radio license. Better performance than CB or GMRS radio. Other people, it's prepping, or they're into the MCOMs, emergency comms. So storms, wildfires, floods, power outages. We've had a few of those recently. Other people, it's just pure fun and social. And I've met some absolutely incredible friends through amateur radio over the years. And there's a bit of a challenge there as well. Some people like to try and work all 50 states in the US on as many bands as possible. Some people like DXing, see how far they can make their signal go. And some people go for the DXCC awards. So for my case, I've already got an amateur radio license from Ofcom here in the UK. But I wanted to operate some of these big remote stacks you can hire in the US from these people, Remote Ham Radio. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of the people I feature in today's video. I will put links in the description below, but I get no kickback, no sponsorship whatsoever. And these guys are a little bit pricey in my mind, so I won't be doing it too often, but I would like to get my hands on some of those big stacks. So anyway, that said, the first thing you need to do is find yourself a volunteer examiner. Now, all the examiners are volunteers, so you have to be a little bit patient. I used these guys in Australia, vea.org.au. Volunteer Examiners Australia, that stands for. These guys focus, as you can see, they do the Australian license and the US license. They mainly do the Australian license. So, like I say, they're volunteers. You have to be a little bit patient with the time difference between Australia and your country. You might end up doing the exam at a slightly strange time of day. So I think I did mine about 8-9 o'clock in the morning here, which was evening time for them in Australia. So you're going to go onto your US license, and you've pretty much got a checklist of all the things you need to go through here. So have a good look through the rules and protocol, and what to expect on exam day as well. Now, I went in to book a US exam online, and what you will find is what I found, which was, we're in November 2024 as I film this, and no times available in November. Okay, let's look at December. And nothing in December either. On to January. Well, guess what? Nothing there. So what I had to do is I had to go in through this link up here, contact, and I had to actually send off a message. And I got contacted by a lovely gentleman, Bob, absolutely brilliant, really, really helpful bunch of guys. And they found a date that worked for both them and myself. Now, bearing in mind, 3 people have to invigilate the exam. You do it remotely. You need a clear desk without distractions. You can't have other people or pets in the room with you. And they booked my exam within 2 weeks. So, like I say, you have to be a bit patient with these guys. They are volunteers. They're giving up their time to get your license, help you get your license. So anyway, exam booked. That costs, at the time of filming this, $15, about £12 here in the UK. So the next thing you need to do, once you've done that, there's a little bit of admin to do. So you need to follow this link here, which is register for an FRN number. Now, an FRN number is for the FCC. It's basically a reference number for anybody that does business with the FCC. So anyone who has a license will need to get an FRN number. You also need a US postal address. Now, if you live in the USA, you're absolutely winning. Or if you've got friends or relatives over there, you can use their address, get them to forward the mail on to you. in my case, I had to use a mail forwarding service, which I used a company called Ship It To. Now, it is free until they have to forward mail on to you. So it's highly unlikely, in my experience, that the FCC are going to send any mail to you at that address. But if they do, then you will have to pay to get it forwarded on to you. But it's just a case of you need a US address. So that's the admin sorted out. The next thing is study. So down here, there's a link for study sites. There's 3 recommended on here. I used this one, Ham Study. So if we go to that website, now the website itself is free to use. You can get mock exams, you can get all the questions, and here's the thing that goes in your favour for the FCC exam. All of the exam questions for all 3 classes of licence are in the public domain. So you pretty much know what questions you're likely to get. Now, some people will roll their eyes at this, but I just pretty much learned the questions. So I just crammed all 3 exams continuously until I was consistently passing the exams. Now, as I said, I've got a full licence here in the UK. I've been around amateur radio for a few years now. So if you're coming into this as a newbie, it's probably worth actually spending a lot more time on this and actually learning the material. For me, I just learned the questions, and it was a tick box exercise, like literally. So quick look at the website. Like I say, you can do all the exams or practice questions, and the website is free. There is an app you can download on your phone, which I strongly recommend doing. That cost, I think it was about £3 to £4, so about $5, something like that. So it wasn't much, and you can just take it with you wherever you are. Just do if you're on a lunch break at work, just do that. You know, I sat at work eating my sandwich on my lunch break whilst doing the questions. If you get a couple of hours at home in the evening, etc., etc. So you can do practice tests or study mode. So probably start off in study mode. This is for the general. And so you can just go through and practice all the questions. So there you go. You can see I've pretty much learned it. What is a shift register? Actually, I can't remember this one. I think, no, I got it wrong. So if you get it wrong, you can get it to show the correct answer. A clocked array of circuits. But generally, what you're actually doing is looking for like buzzwords in there. And once you've been doing this a while, you'll find that buzzwords pop out on you. So, for example, on this one, vacuum tube amplifier, a pronounced dip, were the words that sprung out on me there. A lot of them you'll, if you've been around radio for a while, you'll know anyway. So function of an electronic keyer, automatic generation of dots and dashes for CW operation. So there you go. So that's all you're doing. You're going through and hitting the exam questions consistently until you're getting, you saw at the top right of the screen, there was aptitude. I was getting about 95% on that by the time I went for exam. I could have probably done the exam after a week, but like I said, I had 2 weeks between booking the exam and actually sitting it. So yeah, give yourself more time if you're not good with exams, is what I'd say. And if you're new to the hobby, then certainly learn the material. So with that, my results, I messed up on the technician. I got 1 question wrong on the technician. I think it was 100% on the general. And I think I got about 3, 4, 5 questions wrong on the extra. So it was a comfortable pass. So you've done your exam. Then what? The examiners send the paperwork off to, I think it goes through the ARRL first before the FCC. Now, bearing in mind the time difference between here and the States are several hours behind us. So I did my exam 9 o'clock in the morning. By about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I had an email in my inbox saying, give us some money. We won't process your license application until you pay us money. So I paid the FCC admin fee, which was $35, roughly about £27, I think it was, depending on the conversion rates at the time. And I got another email telling me my call sign had been assigned the next day. So I ended up becoming Alpha Kilo 6 Juliet Victor. So I say you can do this in just over 30 minutes. The whole exam process took about 45 minutes. So, you know, 35 minutes for the exam, and a bit of admin you have to do at the start, paperwork and what have you with the examiners. So the whole thing was about 45 minutes. I went from basically nothing to extra. And with booking the exam as well, the whole process about 2 weeks. Total cost. So the exam was $15, roughly about £12. The Ham Study app to download on the phone, which optional but strongly recommend. About, I think it was £3 to £4, maybe £5. I can't remember the exact amount. So about $5 or so. And the FCC admin fee, $35, about £27. So total cost about $55 or £40 to £45 here in the UK.